Hey, yeah. So we are over here at the fabulous Embassy Suites. Yeah, Embassy
Mm.
Suites, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, with the legend, the boss. The hit maker, Derrick Marquis Johnson. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yes, sir. This is awesome to be here with you. There, there's way too much to talk about, so I'm already knowing that this is just a part one. But I really want to take this opportunity to try to have people get to know you.
Mhm.
You know, music industry. You and your brother, of course, made a lot of big moves. You guys are known as legends now. Like seriously, you guys made your mark in the industry. Then you took your skills and knowledge and moving around, and you created a big business. One of the largest networking companies in America, first black-owned nationwide networking company. Um, you've been blessing a lot of people pretty much all over the hood for decades,
Mhm.
and even made history with that first father and son album, like
Duo. Yeah.
legitimate first father and son album. Like
Yeah.
Lil Wayne, okay, that's cool, but they weren't blood family, you know.
Mm.
So, bro, the only place to start is the beginning, man. So
Yeah.
tell me, before the music started, before anyone even decided to pick up a microphone, what was life like
Uh,
back then?
Before the music started, I was balling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So football, baseball, basketball. I was one of them guys that was getting picked. You know, first pick every time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And my track record will prove it.
You still balling?
I'm balling in what I'm doing now. I'm
Yeah,
balling in the music business industry now. You know
yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? So I took a lot of that. I took a lot of my relationships that I built through basketball, football, baseball, and going to school
Yeah.
and put it into what I love now. You know what I'm saying?
So how did that translate over to your next step? What did you learn from basketball that helped you transition into the next step in life after that?
Teamwork. You gotta have a team for sure in
Yeah,
everything you do. If you want to get bigger, you want to go from a corner store to a Walmart.
yeah,
You're gonna have to hire more staff members, or you're gonna have to have a crew, a team.
yeah,
So basketball showed me that the chemistry.
yeah,
Who can jump higher, who I know can dunk it. And,
yeah,
you're not about to throw an alley to somebody
yeah,
that can't dunk.
yeah.
But knowing who
That.
can shoot that three is all good too. So
Where did you first start playing at?
um, well, kid man, like
Like, did you play
youth
in
ball,
school or
youth
just?
ball. Then
Yeah,
then school. I played.
yeah,
I played middle school. I played high school. Um, and my mom passed when I was in high school, so
yeah,
my life took a spiral. I didn't really care about nothing because she was gone. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I got in a little trouble. Couldn't play ball my senior year. Damn, dropped out of school almost. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
yeah,
I needed to graduate. So, and I wasn't a disobedient kid, and then so the teachers they knew what was going on in my life. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
here I
So
am today. So
so this whole basketball life situation in high school, this was before the music.
this is before music.
Dang.
I balled
Okay.
every day, man. Every day.
Yeah.
We didn't miss a day of playing basketball, man.
And honestly, y'all, it shows your basketball history and love for basketball shows and a lot of things you're doing right now. But I don't want to get ahead
Yeah.
of all this whole journey. But for the people who don't know, your brother is of course Webby.
Hmm.
Made a lot of hit songs. Damn near too many to list, and a lot of them still get heavy play.
Yeah.
I go to barbecues, I go to birthday parties, I go to clubs, bars. his music is still heavily in rotation to this
Yeah,
day. Yeah.
they
But
know what's up. It's
what was that journey like from nothing, not nothing to something, but like let's start recording. Like what was that catalyst that
um
he got in the studio? That what made that happen?
well, one of my partners is a couple of different stories because it's a couple of different people that seen his talent,
Yeah.
and they all just
How they see this talent? Like he was just freestyling and
well,
rock.
yeah. I went when I first seen his talent. He came to me with a freestyle,
Yeah.
and it was one of the, it was well, the second song he brought to me it was What It Is. Is it my cause? Is it my
That was the
clothes?
first one?
That was like the second song he brought, but it didn't
Damn.
have a beat to it, and I was like,
Yeah.
damn, that shit dope. But he brought me some other stuff at first, and I took him into a studio. Me and my partner 2Key. Shout out to Tucson. Tucson was working with True Records back in the
Yeah.
day, No Limit, and we put him in the studio to do a demo for him to shop to different labels. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I didn't think about becoming a label myself back then.
Yes, sir.
Just young. You know what I'm saying? But he eventually stumbled into the studio with Trill Entertainment. You know what I'm saying? One of my business partner, Boo. Me and Boo was tight.
Yeah.
Boo got killed. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Boo. But Webby went in the studio and just wrecked it, man. He wanted it. He wanted it better than anybody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he put what he was thinking on paper, and he put it in that booth. You know, and
Huh.
here we go.
Well, I see that I be trying to tell artists all the time, no matter if you got a beat or not, just get in there and write. Get in there, record. That's ammo.
Yeah.
But then something had to go from the record studio to the business side of okay, we got this music. There's another step,
Yeah.
and because you don't just go from recording to being famous. A lot of people got that fantasy,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
drop
yeah.
this hit song, everybody gonna like
Nah,
it.
man. Webby actually had a team behind him, whether they seen it or not. You know what I'm saying? Myself, I'm a I'm a I'm a big fan, but I'm a bigger supporter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I heard him rap the first time, I'm doing my homework
Yes,
on
sir.
just the different positions in the industry. First of all, you know what I'm saying? And I had to play his DJ at first. I was
Yes,
his
sir.
DJ at one time. But that wasn't my passion. So I brought in some other DJs to handle that business. I was his security at one time.
So in the beginning, it was a lot of networking, using that knowledge used in basketball to bring a team together. And of course, you learned about everyone having their own positions and the importance of people playing positions. That's
Right.
where everything started connecting, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Supa Unit lead. That's the
Yeah.
lead. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not. A lot of people think they just want people to be working under them for no reason. They just want to be powerful or they want to be a leader. But it takes a special kind of understanding to know that it's not just about having followers, but it's having people play the position.
Of course.
Yeah,
The right people.
that's definitely what
Yeah.
I
And
see. I'm starting to see those things connect now.
that's why they say stay in school, because
Yeah,
the people that really want to see you win, they gonna go and look up the position that they need to be playing, and they gonna educate themselves on it, and they gonna focus on being that,
yeah,
and then being able to duplicate that talent per city per state in the time given
yeah,
is another art. You know what I'm saying? So I was a computer nerd, like basketball. Outside of basketball,
yeah.
I could take a video game and master it in a couple of days, on my
Yes,
own.
sir.
Just it was crazy. But I took all of that and put it into, building my own website and just real life. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Difference is with this, we don't get a second chance if we die. You feel me?
yeah.
But
So to me, it's kind of the thought of it is romanticized, just putting in the work and getting your name out there. But what was some of the things that you had to learn along the way in that beginning process? Because the music side is cool, but the reality and real life of it is that there's processes. And people just, like I said, think that it's just step one and then success. but there's a lot of lessons that have to be learned
Yeah.
in the process.
Well, for one, nobody is gonna see your vision
Yeah,
unless you flashing money with it, and paying who you gotta pay.
yeah,
It's you're gonna always have something going against
yeah,
greatness. So the higher you climb it, it's more
yeah,
eyes on it. So there's more haters on it. There's more people.
yeah,
You know, um, but being a stone wall and learning how to tell people no the nice way has been a great lesson for me.
yeah.
So uh,
That's there's so much to unpack there, man, but I'm really trying to get a good understanding of the mission and the journey. You said you had to learn at each level. What was like what was the hardest moment though that you kind of had to overcome before you could start blasting off? What's some of the hardest things? Like what was the hardest lesson?
um,
Was it just footwork? Was it how to talk to people?
well, footwork was really easy. Like I said, I was a baller, so I'm
Yeah.
around everybody. You know what I'm saying? And after we finish playing ball, we go over to the club. You
Was
know
it
what I'm
like
saying?
adapting to the business world coming from where y'all came from? Or?
Well, I think the hardest part for me is
Yeah.
is actually being with my brother. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because is and at one time it was nagging to me, like wavy brother, wavy brother, wavy brother.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, all right, well, let me create a company
Yeah.
that can help. Cause it wasn't really hard for me. It's because I accepted the situation
Yeah.
way before it accepted me. I started a promotional company when Webby became this superstar artist. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So as his career was going up, and with the music, my promotional company was going up too,
Yeah.
which is partnered with him because he's my brother. You know what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying? So I don't think it was hard. I'm looking for competition. I'm looking for somebody to play
Yeah.
against. You know what I'm saying? But until then, I'm gonna play against myself, and I'm gonna learn from the greats that I came up under. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So you definitely had some mentors along the way.
Yeah, definitely. Mentors that wasn't physically there with me, but
Yeah.
from the masterpiece, the biggest CEOs. Even Diddy, no Diddy, but Diddy
Yeah.
had a influence on where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I they were CEOs. They picked to be the CEO of a rap label or a record label. Put all of these artists and people on their back.
Yeah.
Open ears every day. I had to accept that,
Yeah.
and I do it. I do it. I've been doing it for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So
So you definitely had, people that you can look up to figure out how to do things, right? So you was looking at mentors and people who were
and
on the
still
same
look at them
path.
today.
Yeah.
Still today. The 50 Cent, everybody, Kevin Hart's. I don't care what subject matter or talent it is.
Yeah.
They prevalent and they going, and I love to see that. I love to see them overcome adversity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can learn
And
from all of that.
I think that's a big contrast because there's also a lot of people who can say that, oh, I did it on my own or I'm gonna do it on my own. That's
Nah,
yeah.
nah, man.
Duh.
God even needed help, bro.
Yeah.
He still need help. You hear me?
Yeah.
And you gotta accept God. When you accept God, you understand that we are the gods and the goddesses on earth.
Yeah.
So we need each other. That's what fellowshipping is.
Yeah.
Fellowship is a group of people coming together to gain some understanding about the future. You know what I'm saying? So my
Yeah.
purpose, ever since I gained the knowledge that I needed to gain, because that's what I asked God for, was to help people understand that they got to create a business now. I don't care how old you are. You feel me?
Yeah.
If your kid want to be Spider-Man or Superman at a young age because he don't know what a job or business is, you help him become Spider-Man, Superman. Go get him that outfit, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Capture the moment,
Yeah.
but start a business so you'll know how to get into other people's business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Start them out early. Yeah.
Start them off early. That's where wealth come from. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? And I don't care if I don't do it. I want somebody to do it because it's gonna come back to me too anyway. I'm already in position when the stock markets crash. Supa Unit ain't gonna never crash. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But that might go over some people's head too. But it'll never crash. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? But
I'm wondering, when did the Boosie Webby team up happen? How did it happen? It's kind of three parts. When did it happen? How did it happen? And how did it impact business? Not saying good or bad, just how did it change business? Your business strategy,
Boosie
yeah.
and Webby were the hardest cats rapping back in the day,
Yeah.
and it just made sense. And other than that, you got people like Mel, Turk. They the CEOs of Trill Entertainment.
Yeah.
They put that catastrophe together. They put that situation together.
Yeah.
They Fox, Big Head. They put all that together.
Yeah.
I fathered the situation when it comes to interns, setting up interns, it's the stuff that people don't see behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Interns are important in your label, so your offense and your defense is important. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have something coming in, you gotta have somebody going out, hitting them streets to make sure that them songs are in rotation,
Yeah.
that you greeting people. You gotta have that. And I was that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one thing that I am kind of curious about is coming from the places that we come from. It's kind of hard to find the right people sometimes, or at least I know a lot of people want to learn, but sometimes that learning is a long journey.
And
Were
again,
you having trouble finding the right people, or
I ain't never had a trouble because
Yeah.
I knew who I was and what the positions took to make this ship roll.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like football, you need how many men on the field? 11, right?
Yeah.
Basketball, you need 5 to play, right?
Yeah.
So it's different positions. Same thing in the music industry.
Yeah.
You need about 7 good soldiers to play ball. You feel me? You got that from your hometown, then you got you something. You feel me?
Yeah.
You should start there. You know what I'm saying? So everywhere that I go, I'm already appraised when I get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got business, personal road managers here in my home city that don't care to get up off that couch, but they gonna make that call for me before I get where I go.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, pushing paperwork, getting the facts is where I've been at
Yeah.
since about 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
This is really just a question for the fans, man. But because regardless of what it is, those names are very popular, and
Yeah.
I as well have been a big fan. But no one really talks about the real important things. And what I'm curious about is, like I said, as a fan, when was it? Where? How did they meet? Where was it? What was going on? Yeah.
Studio,
They just crossed paths?
Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They was on the same label. You know what I'm saying? Trill Entertainment, same
Yeah.
label. But peanut butter and jelly, Pimp C put his stamp on a situation, from Texas and from Crowley. And
So they just crossed paths in the studio and started fucking with each other. You ain't got no story. Come on, man.
They made magic, bro. They was really that, and they peanut butter and jelly, bro.
They just linked up and just started getting
on
along
that
and
note,
shit. Yeah.
on that note, they are working on the album, the gangster music album.
Holy
I would
shit,
say
yeah.
for fans that want to become fans with benefits,
Yeah.
and make money on this next journey that they go on once they drop this hot music. Like
Yeah.
you said, we was talking. He dropped the Father Like Son joints. Boosie setting his kids up for success.
Yeah.
On this next move for supporters, and people that want to attach themselves to this movement, it's a business. So talk to representatives that are credible and get you an application, just like you would go get an application at a Walmart, McDonald's.
Yeah.
Get an application with the actual label and watch and profit when you come to these shows. You're investing when you buy that ticket. But we working on changing the game right now to help the people who we, who love us, who've been supporting us. You know what I'm saying? We want them to open up accounts and build business, and we're gonna help them do that. So
you said Boosie and Webby was all under the same umbrella. I know when they started linking up, like from the fan perspective, you can't think about Boosie without Webby or Webby without Boosie. Once they put out that first album, did things change business wise? Like how you handle stuff? Did it feel like they blew up? Were numbers coming in? What was going on? Well, after that first mixtape or album drop?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm business minded, so it's always business with me.
Yeah.
It was business when I first heard him. Okay, if I'm not gonna be the rapper, I'm gonna be the businessman. I'm gonna be the promoter.
You say?
You don't need everybody to be this. Like you don't need everybody to be the quarterback. Somebody got to be the quarterback. Somebody got to be the running back.
Yeah.
Somebody got to be the receiver. You know what I'm saying? And that's just offense. As far as defense, like I said, the managers and things that I put in place, that's what I was focused on from day one. It's
So
the support.
what I'm trying to figure out is as far as like,
It changed.
was the reach different after they teamed up? Because I started hearing their music a lot more, and so is that something that you could have taken advantage? Like you did take advantage of? Like, yo, I got more reach. Now we can promote more.
Yeah.
What
I ain't
kind of
gonna
plays
lie, man.
came with that?
Back then, man, it was rough out there on the road because these cats that was in the entourage, they wasn't trying to do no fucking business, man.
Yeah.
They wasn't trying to hear nothing I'm saying about appraising yourself and creating your own company while you next to people like Webby and Boosie. So they might have missed the train. But as far as me making my digital dollars, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's when digital music started taking off, right?
Yeah. I caught all that in the beginning. I was streaming before streaming was even thought about.
Yeah.
You feel me? And they can go look it up.
Yeah.
I was Black fucking Tom. Tom of MySpace. I was the Black Tom of Supa Unit. I've been having my own network before people were even thinking about networks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, to see it now, I'm like, I'm glad. Like I birthed a lot of little babies. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. It cool.
Definitely did have a big impact, man, especially on a lot of styles and a lot of sounds nowadays.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that they got into, and there was a lot of headlines going on during their beginning of their collaborations, man. And I know especially with Boosie getting in trouble a lot, and Boosie getting his name being attached to Webby, a lot of people are like, "Oh, is he coming out? Is he staying in? Are they making more music? All this." But speaking of it, like legally and business wise, how did that affect anything going on? Like,
I mean, It had to affect it, but like I said, we problem solvers behind the scenes. So, and we expect that. We coaches. We don't expect everybody to get it right the first time.
Yeah.
So, like I say, from my perspective as a manager first, as a promoter, again, knowing the security and how to do all of that. And, I just think that we were kids back in the day. We were young. We were 17 to like 25.
Yeah.
You making, 10K a show at that age.
That's actually a big thing that I really want to highlight is y'all was making these moves and thinking about all the business moves you can make as kids.
Yeah.
Y'all weren't playing with kid money. Y'all were playing with real adult money.
Yeah.
And you were trying to hold the ball, make sure that it's not just another tale of someone getting famous and losing all their money.
Yeah, when Webby retired, all of his assets are inside the unit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to be as dumb with it as possible. He said a dumb way.
Yeah.
I've accumulated many applications for Webby over the years with many big sponsors, and they still love him So if he retires and wants to, before he retires, he want to open up those leads, those revenue streams.
Yeah.
He can do that. He can start rapping now. He can start rapping right now. Shoot videos for the hits that he has made,
Yeah.
and he good for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I think that a lot of people don't even focus on. They're like, oh, he, such and such artist ain't putting out no more music, or such and such artist ain't doing this or doing that.
Let me
Not
tell you this.
understanding, like they're
He
good. They don't.
Bro, Webby is getting more spins than any artist
Yeah.
in the South,
Yeah.
in the clubs, bro.
Yeah. Like for real.
Every club, you're not going to get through a night without playing Webby or boosting music.
Multiple Webby tracks.
Yes.
Sometimes multiple times.
You're not about to do it.
Yeah.
This facts, man.
Yeah.
This facts. So they can say, they can talk what they want to talk. I see streams that they can't even calculate.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, they can't calculate that.
So, what part of the journey? What was the turning point after that, though? After they began and their run is going strong, what was the next turning point or the next chapter after that?
I don't know.
We can talk about the fame all day and all sorts of stories. What was the next chapter after that?
Losing people in those times.
Yeah.
Is hard. You know what I'm saying? But losing somebody that's a part of the music and being going on the road with like family members or Lil Fat, it'll put a dagger in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So from what I'm trying to picture, once you make it past a certain level, it's almost kind of like an exclusive club. There's no way you can reach a certain level without knowing other people. And I do remember that we were losing a lot of artists left and right. Of course, Pimp C.
Yeah.
That was a hard hit.
Yeah.
And there were others around you that were probably climbing up.
Mama West was an artist to me. She ain't get on the stage and rap, but Pimp C's mom.
Yeah.
I mean, she's my mentor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Me and her, like me and you talking right now, like we big business with me and Mama West. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And still unfinished business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then you have to give people some time to adapt and get older and learn too.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of players on the UGK side that I have to put some attention on. A lot of players from the trio side that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
A lot of players from the Savage Life Entertainment side are putting their applications on the Savage Life Entertainment desk. And then there's a lot of players on the Supa Unit side. You know what I'm saying? A shitload of them, So,
There's a lot that you do have to manage. There's a lot that you juggle. How did you go about learning how to juggle everything? Like, who taught you what? How did you? Is it just trial and error? Like,
God, man, and that too. I guess trial and error. You got to go through trial and error. Walmart didn't pop up overnight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They went through trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Then once they got it, you got Walmart nationwide now.
So you saying there was a lot of mistakes that was made to get
I mastered my business at home first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I made enough money to leave here and not charge nobody nothing. At the club that I still deal with. You know what I'm saying? Bro, it's a dirty game and it's what you make it.
Yeah.
You got to be good at what you do, man.
And well, that finally brings up to the point where we're at now. You're working on a bunch of major projects. You are finding ways to give back, give back to the hood, give back to the neighborhood, give back to the people left and right. You're doing many different, like you're going through very different avenues to give back to a lot of different people. And a lot of it has its roots from that story that you told me, just coming from where you come from, doing what you was doing. And, one of the greatest ways that shows up is a basketball game. See, and the other movement, the top,
Top Stop the Violence.
Yeah, Top
Yeah.
Stop the Violence.
Yeah. I got a coloring contest that's
Yeah.
bleeding the block right now, man.
Hey.
You know, so
Yeah.
I think that's one of my most major accomplishments later. Is applying a coloring book.
Yeah.
Partnering with Bully the Bull. He's based out of Memphis. So my mascot, Bully the Bull.
Yeah.
He's he's doing big things with,
Yeah.
top ranked people, political in the political world. So just saying, once all of that come together, the Top Stop the Violence program,
Yeah.
the basketball games, and just bringing something back to the community at least once every 3 months is needed. It's needed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be a part of somebody else doing it, or I'm gonna be the one to bring it to your city, and we're gonna make it pop.
So Stop the Violence is just in its name itself on what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
What out of all the different kinds of charities in the world that you can do, why was that the main focus? What kind of said, yo, I need to focus on this? Where did that come from?
I'm like I said, I'm from that world,
Yeah.
and if I can make it out, they can make it out.
Yeah.
I want to be that person to give them something to help them get out quicker.
Yeah.
So here we go. I want to be that person to do that. No, they wasn't doing it for me. I want to be that person to do it for the next generation.
Yes, sir. Damn, man, that's crazy. And I feel like we definitely learned a lot. That was a great part one of this journey, because I think it's very important for people to understand it's not an overnight thing. It's not a magic thing. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of studying, a lot of mistakes that have to be made. And it's not one day to the next. And it doesn't matter what you do. It's all hard work and business.
Yeah. Hard work, smart work.
Yeah.
That's when you get that's why they say stay in school. To get your education, you put idle minds together and come up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, next time we meet up, man, I'm gonna start asking for more of these personal stories and your opinions, and we're gonna start dissecting what's really going on, because I know for a fact you see a lot of the behind the scenes and a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the music industry.
Yeah.
So we'll get that right now, but let's tease the audience with this, and hopefully they learn something from this. Let them know where they can follow you at, man.
All platforms, Derrick for real. Follow the hashtags. Go to the website. Sign up if you want to do business.
Yeah.
Sign up under your company or your government name, and let's get it popping. My number been the same since high school.
Hey.
And I'm an OG, so
hey.
All
right, man.
Ain't hard to find. You did?
Yes, sir. Well, this been Goat God TV, man. This is Derrick for real. We out of here, man. Yeah.
Go.